Hey friends, welcome to the 2016 annual report. Every year, I make a video that looks back on what we've accomplished in this previous year and the goals that we have for the new year coming. I also have a pretty big announcement at the end of this video. So yeah, but before we get into that, I'm gonna share with you some real numbers and hopefully you'll find these things as interesting as I do. We're gonna be looking at three main things. The first one is the performance of the channel. The second one is the goals that I made last year and kind of how I measured up. And then the third part is about the goals that I'm setting for 2017. So part one, let's talk about performance. In my published videos, let's see, last year in 2015, I published 96 videos. That's a lot. And this year I published 82 videos plus another 32 videos that were only for patrons and other special occasions. Now it's always hard to predict what kind of video will be popular. This year, the most watched video was a video that I made quickly while I was trying to create another series that was a lot more ambitious. So I made this video about my code editor and my setup. And it turns out that that video has been viewed over 1 million minutes long. And keep in mind that, in a year, there's only around 500,000 minutes. So really, this video has been averaging 2 people watching it at the same time somewhere in the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the entirety of the year. Like, who are you 2 people that just don't stop watching this one video? Okay, let's talk about video views. The year before, in 2015, my videos got 2.4 million views, and that was really, really huge for me. But this year, we're hitting 4.7 million views, and that seems completely unreal. The time watch statistic is just mind-blowing. My videos have been watched for 24 million minutes in 2016. That's like 46 years and 15 days. Crazy. Just crazy. The top 3 countries that are watching Dev Tips internationally are the United Kingdom, India, and Germany, which is the same as last year. And still, the last on that list is Samoa, who watched 5 minutes of Dev Tips this year. And that's down from last year when they watched 6 minutes. So Samoa, like, what's up? We're not tight anymore? All right, now let's talk about subscriber growth. Views and engagements and comments and likes, they're really important statistics, but the subscriber count is something that's super easy to understand and just kind of like watch it grow. So let's talk about subscriber growth. My goal for ending 2015 was to have 70,000 subscribers, and I hit that number on January 1 this year. And that was a pretty cool moment for me. That took about 2.5 years to get there. In the following year, this year, 2016, we're going to end that number on 170,000. So that means 100,000 new people have found this channel and decided that they liked what was happening enough to click the button because they might want to see another video someday. And I'm so grateful for that. Okay, so now this is part 2. We're gonna look at the goals that I had for 2016 and how I measured up to those goals, okay? So this is like accountability right now. So the first thing I wanted to do was I had this vision for Dev Tips. I wanted to expand the operations. 2016 was a year of growth and I attempted to grow alongside with the channel, but honestly, I don't think that I did a very good job. Here's a few examples of that. I tried to hire an editor, but I kept failing to get the clips to her on time, and I was always ended up just editing the videos on Sunday night to get it out there for a Monday release because I have no idea how to budget production time. Fail. Another thing was I tried to be more involved in the community, more speaking engagements, meetups, and those moments have been really, really great moments, but it's hard because it's hard to move my body around that much, and I'm realizing that I may be a little bit more introverted than I thought. I get really wiped out from this stuff. And all that growth that I described earlier means that there's less Travis for each of you. And for the people that have been dev tipsters for a long time, that kind of sucks. And it might feel like I've disappeared. In fact, I kind of have. I no longer reply to every comment. I can't. I no longer reply to every email. I can't. There's just too many. And I'm just being real with you guys right here. This is one of my biggest struggles. I feel like some of the expectations I put out there early on, I'm just failing to meet. And instead of being attentive and helpful, I end up just being a jerk. And I know that more than a few people have stopped watching the show or even stopped being a patron because I am letting them down. And I don't know what to do about that. I don't know if that's okay. So anyway, that's the expand operations goal that I had. And another big goal I had was to strengthen the community. And I think that you get the idea. I feel like there's a strong DevTips community, like the DevTips patron Slack channel is always popping. And there have been like tons of patron community hangouts and projects, and that really warms my heart to see. And that's all great, but it's not because of me, which is actually a good thing, I think, because really these people in the communities and in the chat and stuff, they've come together to connect and to support and to grow with each other, and that's really the best outcome that could have happened. So I'm going to count that kind of as a win, actually. Let's do that. And even though I feel like I'm failing the community is still rocking, and I like that. Another goal that I had in 2016 was to do things that improve other people's lives. And that's an important part of what makes me happy and feel like a human of consequence. I try to look for ways to relieve the suffering of others. Apart from making educational materials, I try to provide people with the resources that they need to improve their lives. And last year I made a goal to donate $3,000 of DevTips income to charity. And we did that. It happened with your help, with your patronage and your views and your enthusiasm for like the very few sponsors that DevTips has taken. We were able to donate that $3,000. And then because I work at Google, they match those donations. So the overall value of the benefit was $6,000 to people who need help. And I mention that because it's important to me. DevTips doesn't generate a lot of money. It's not about that, but it does a little. And you're a part of that, and you should be able to enjoy the idea that you helped a child eat just by being here, by being involved, being interested. My final goal, I think it's the final one, was just to have fun. What does that mean, right? Just to have fun. Last year I said that if it's not fun, it's not worth it, and I'm not into it. So I'm going to be really judicious about the things that I do. I want to have fun and not lose sight of that again. That was a quote from last year. So I don't know. Like, how do you measure fun? And maybe you've sensed like a theme in all like these goals, right? There's like, maybe you've seen that anything that I've tried to do, the things that succeeded and those that failed were like really, I don't know if this is coming across actually, but those successes were always overshadowed by the weight of my own expectations and the guilt of my shortcomings. So I'm a person, right? And like a lot of you, I'm a dynamic and complicated person with a lot of different interests and abilities and needs. And I feel like the video schedule of DevTips and the content that I've been maintaining for the past 3 years have driven me down a specific and single road. And I'm looking around now and seeing that I'm kind of not really happy with, or even interested in that persona. I wouldn't describe what I've been doing with DevTips, like the types of videos that I've been making and the schedule that I've been making them at. I wouldn't, at least for the past 6 months, I wouldn't describe them as fun. No, more like drudgery or doing a chore like with a smile. So if my goal was to have fun, then I gotta say, there have been some great moments. Mostly those moments came from meeting people and having conversations or like working on ideas with other YouTubers. But when it comes to like making the videos and managing my channel, I would say that I failed at this goal too. So let's talk about part 3. Part 3 is the part where I make goals for 2017. I guess really it's going to be a short section because in 2017 I have no goals for DevTips. None at all. So there's this parable about this woodcutter, He's very strong and very proficient, and he's skilled with his axe. And he asked a job from this timber merchant, and he got it. And the pay was really good, and the working conditions were great. And for those reasons, the woodcutter was like really determined to do his best job. His boss gave him an axe and sent him to the area where he was supposed to do his work. And the first day, that woodcutter brought in like 18 trees, which was like a record. And it was like so good. And the boss was like, man, that was amazing. Keep going. And he was so motivated by the boss's words and the success of the first day that the woodcutter tried harder the next day. But for some reason, he could only bring in 15 trees. And the third day, he tried even harder, but he could only bring in 10 trees. And the day after that, he was bringing in less and less trees. And the woodcutter thought, I must be like losing my strength. And he went to the boss and apologized, saying that, I can't understand what's going on. And the boss stopped and said, when was the last time you sharpened your axe? Sharpen my axe? The woodcutter replied, I have no time to sharpen my axe. I've been very busy trying to cut trees. And guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel a lot like that woodcutter right now. I feel like I've been so busy creating videos and trying to, and failing to launch courses and send posters and organize communities and so much more that I've just become very, very dull. So I'm going on a hiatus, and that's the big news. There will be no Dev Tips video next Monday. And that's a hard thing to say since I've never missed a week in the 3 years that I've been doing this. But next Monday will be the first week that I'm not going to publish a video. And now you may be asking, how long will this take? How long will I be gone? I don't know. I'm asking myself that same question. Like, I could be re-energized in a few weeks and be back, but it's not likely. But it could be like 6 months, but that also is not likely. It's likely somewhere in there, in between. So I'm going to be relaxing on the videos, but I'm going to be trying to use that time to get done all of the projects that I've been wanting to do for so long, and I couldn't because yet another video was due on Monday. It's like a reoccurring due date. It makes it really difficult to do new things, right? So I do hope to make periodical like update videos and maybe some videos about what I'm learning and along the way, but the idea here is not to say that I'm tying myself down to a schedule and I'm releasing myself from the expectational debt that I've been drowning in for the past 6 months. So thank you to everyone who has supported Dev Tips over the years. We're all passing ships in the night. It's been a beautiful experience to meet you all and to share what we've shared. Thank you to everyone who's been a patron of the channel. Your philanthropy is flattering and encouraging, and I love you very much for everything that you do. And to the patrons, I'll be having one last community hangout soon, so please join in for that. Good night, everyone, and don't stop hacking, because I certainly never will. I'll just be hacking differently now. What?